YouTube? Thanks for joining me today, and we are going to look at the new Air Jordan 11 Cool Gray. This is the retro, just early drop they had. It is officially coming out in December, but we did get lucky on sneakers for two pairs actually, my wife and I. So we hit on a size 10 and an 11. The 10, why? Because I wanted a size 10 to match up with my OG. A lot of my OGs are size 10, so I decided to shoot for one in that size, and then in my own size that I wear, size 11. So here they are. They're very nice. I'm very happy with them. I haven't really looked at the OGs compared to these yet, even though that's definitely a thing I like to do. So that's something we'll be doing soon. But yeah, these are definitely the higher cut, more like the original. And you know, it's nice. It's a nice suede instead of the mesh upper. And we'll go into more details about that. And I also enjoy the box that they put with these. It is kind of like the Air Jordan Classic box, just in white and gray. This is basically the style that started from the Air Jordan 8. And it went through the next few models. So we see they did the Jordan branding, the Nike. It's nice, thick. They keep using the thicker cardboard too, which I like. It's a little more durable. It's got a better feel to it than it's not so flimsy. So Air Jordan 11 Retro, got medium gray, multi-color gray with size 10, made in China. No Vietnam this time. $225. Yes, they keep going up in price. It's kind of gross, but you know, it is what it is. The blue outsoles, I know some people aren't a huge fan of, but I think they do look good. Nice shiny patent leather. We got a little widow's peak here. It's a bit of an OG trait. We got a widow's peak here. Dogs are throwing bones in the background because that's what they do. I like the blue. I think it looks cool. We'll talk more about the shape of the outsole and all that again, because I see if you watch my Jordan 11 low playoffs, I mentioned a few things that were kind of weird with the retros, but yeah, I think the carbon fiber looks still pretty cool. And see the Medial side here, really good. Take a look at the other shoe. It's always good that they fixed this with the Jumpman going in. We'll talk more in detail about the build of these and comparison, as this was not an original colorway. This was a retro colorway that came out later. Usually it was the lower cut patent leather, but we will be going over a little detail of improvements and shape that they've done. So stay tuned for that coming up. All right, so we of course had to break out the OGs. We have the Air Jordan 11 Playoff on the right side here. This is the pair that is actually made in China. I have the Taiwan and a China pair, but since this is a size 10, I figured I would do that. And there's a comparison between these two models if you guys want to check out my older video, the China versus the Taiwan. But for today, we're going to use the size 10 as a same exact size example. And the first thing you'll notice is there's definitely more padding, and it's a little more narrow around the ankle. Something that the newer 11s, they've kind of keep continuation of a larger, a little wider, less padding around the ankle area. So we have seen ballistic mesh here, but this time there's a nice suede, and I do like it. It's really nice, soft, and this is your traditional ballistic. So there wasn't an OG of this, obviously. This was more of a retro later on, the lower cut version. So that's why we're comparing it to an original colorway here, to kind of show you guys exact OG specs, more of a head-to-head. And Jordan's pair, I did actually see a cool gray. I'll drop in a photo at the Chicago Sports Convention this summer, and it's the lower cut version, and it's a little different, different shape. Obviously, his PE were most of the time, but still a pretty cool shoe. And you'll also see, we'll talk patent leather next. This is just a little more, it's not as wide as like when you look from here. So on this one, it's just not as long. And again, these are both size 10. Nice, really thick cuts on the patent leather. This is pretty thick too, but it's not the same thickness. Got the widow's peak right there in the middle. You can see it a little bit here on this side. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's got a nice finish on these. Always the midsoles too on the retros. You can see on the side here how it's very flush. And on the side of the outsoles where it meets the midsole, it's more what I should describe. It sticks out a little bit. It kind of flares out. It gives it a little more, a little more flair, a little more dramatic, a little more aggressive. You can see if you tilt it. Let's try to just tilt them upward even. You can see the inside. You can barely even see on the cool gray, but you can definitely see it kind of flaring out on the OG. When they're on feet and you see it down, you see that kind of sticking out. That's a really cool thing because you see that when I wear my Playoff 11 low still to this day. Awesome shoe, most comfortable, the greatest, my favorite Jordan 11. But yeah, so that gives you guys an idea of front view, and we'll go heel to heel next. All right, now we're looking heel to heel. You can see the heights are pretty dead on, pretty spot on there. Jumpman stitching, it's very similar. It's nothing too drastic. It kind of got that, you can see that's like not as super tight stitching weave, and it looks pretty good here. White edge popping, thicker cut. This is definitely thinner. Absolutely. You can see it better here than we did from the toe box, but the OG patent leather thickness is just bananas. And the height, they keep making it wider. I know some people like the more narrow patent leather. This is taller now on the side panel. And you can see then the OG. I think it looks good though. I would prefer this than really skinny. I feel like it's like they're just trying to be cheap on those earlier retros. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the really narrow patent leather. You can see the shape. This is just it's so unique, and how this slopes down and how this just below the 23 it kind of comes out on the nylon. Here it's gotten a little better, but it's pretty flat. Even like the Concord with the 45 kind of stays the same. They haven't really improved that. And you can see how narrow this is and how much wider we got here. Insoles on the OG, you got the Nike Air. You can see in there it is. The polyurethane on these is pretty much the same. I just did a quick feel between both, and then you got the Jumpman on here. You should not have the Nike Air on this because this was not the original colorway. But fun fact, I know I've said it before, the Air Jordan 11 Low Cobalt and Playoff was the first one to have the Jumpman on the insole, not the Jordan 12. So a little fun fact there for you guys. But yeah, that's a good thing. I was happy that they they kept it true to the origin of the shoe and the times it came out. They had the Jumpman, not the Nike. But yeah, good insoles on them. I was happy to see that. We can look at the stitching on the tongue too here. You can see how the OG tongue, the shape is just like it stays very square, very plush. Quality inspired products. And then here it's more curved out, and it's not nearly as it's padded, but it's not nearly as padded as this. This is really cushioned nicely. This looks good though, but yeah, the shape of it's definitely got more curve to it. Maybe even a little more narrow, I'd say. And these are both size 10, and look at the gray. This is just beefier and wider, right? So pretty interesting. So yeah, we'll do a heel to heel next. Do the old heel to heel, and again we see patent leather's a little taller on the new retro, and on here you got the more narrow 23. The shape of this is just more narrow at the ankle. The whole shoe all around, you can tell, is more narrow. And they even make the 23 a little wider. It looks kind of funny compared to this, to be honest, does it not? But they're still cool. It's a great shoe. I'm glad I grabbed it. And as far as the midsole is concerned, it's pretty close. But again, if you actually get like more of a top view, you could see the red, where the outsole comes around. It kind of flares out just like it does on the front. I don't know if that's going to show up too well, but this definitely has more flare to it. Just adds to the whole shape when you have, this shape here, and you got this kind of flaring out. This is kind of flat, and this is thicker, but then this is kind of flat. Even here, this shape, and more narrow too. Just like it's got a whole different aesthetic to it. All right, so here we go, toe box, and you guys are probably like, "What is going on here?" So it's definitely a taller cut on the China pair. This is more sloped out. It is sloped. It's not like a big bump. It does come down, but it is a totally different shape between this and this. So you're looking at the retro, like, wow, the retro is kicking its ass, the China. But this is how they were manufactured. I do like the China pair, but I know it is raised more. It's more of a bubbled. Kind of reminds me like the Air Jordan 13, like the OG 13. It's kind of raised more. It's definitely still sleek, but it's raised throughout the whole upper, going into the upper. So we swap out this guy, and I figured might as well just do it. Here we go. Here is the Taiwan. So that was China we just saw. This is Taiwan, and I'm definitely leaning toward Jordan Brand modeling the shoe off of the Taiwan specs more so. Still some difference you could see. I mean, the way it sets anyway, you can kind of tilt. But this has definitely got a little longer with the patent leather, a little more sleek. It's not as rounded off as you could see with the China pair. So good to see both versions, and this is pretty low cut here, and you can definitely see it's higher cut. Where with the China pair, it's a little higher cut than the Taiwan even. So there's some variation there between the releases. But yeah, again, the toe box on the retro, I think it looks great. I think they did a good job on them. It's way better than the Playoff 11 low just came out. It's very bulky, and it kind of ruins the whole slope down to the shoe. You guys saw that video? If not, check it out. That's what makes the Playoff 11 low and the Cobalt special to me, because the shoe's super comfortable and it really does fit like a glove. So I'm guessing these will be about the same. And I think that's pretty much all to note there. Along the side panels, you got the suede again, and you got the mesh. All right, next we're going to look at the outsole as a comparison, and I love the original on the playoffs, especially with the translucent. It's got kind of a sheen to it, to the red outsole, and translucent through the pods with the herringbone. You can kind of see the red running through. The shape, it kind of curves like around like your foot, like the ball of your foot, and then your heel, and you got the arch here almost. You can kind of see. Just the shape is really nice. That's why I'm not crazy about how they've been making the 11 retros. Like I even mentioned it in the playoff 11 low retro that came out this year. It's kind of flat, and compared to here where it kind of rounds off. And then here it kind of curves in, but like you can see, I'll lift them up here, and you can see that it's definitely kind of a flatter shape when you look here compared to this. So it kind of comes down and it curves in, and then it comes back out. And here it's kind of flat, and then it kind of goes in quicker, and then it comes back out, and it's very flat. And this is kind of rounded off. So again, yeah, the retros are taller, size 10, and look how much more height there is. Carbon fibers is absolutely beautiful on the OG. Looks pretty good on here too. Smoother. You can feel the texture. You can feel in between a little bit more. And we're gonna drop them down. We're gonna have like more of a top view so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So when you look at it straight overhead, you can see that this is very flat, and there's more curve. Like, let's get the right angle here. Like more curve here, and you can go this side. It's kind of more level off, just kind of flat. So I don't know if it's going to show up that well, but you can kind of see when you get closer that it's definitely got a different shape, kind of like a more natural foot, for your outsole. So that's one detail I think is kind of nice about the original is the shape of the outsole. So that'll about do it for today. Appreciate you guys watching again, and it's nice to review the Cool Gray Retro 11. I think they're a beautiful shoe. It matches up pretty nicely to the original. Of course, it's not exact and perfect, but it is definitely worth grabbing a pair, and I am happy with them. So with that being said, the one thing I did want to mention was this, like, why? We got the 225 price tag, and I always look forward to the cool plastic shoe trees that would come with the retro 11s, the patent leather versions that come out every year. So that was a little disappointing to see that. I was hoping to see the plastic, but other than that, that's really one of my only major gripes, you could say, with the release. So the price increase again, justification, don't see it. But yeah, still worth grabbing, and we'll definitely enjoy these in the collection. And hope you guys enjoy this. Remember to follow me at OG or Bust on Instagram, and you can subscribe to this page, like this video, hate the music or not, whatever. I know I got some critics out there, but yeah, we'll see you guys next time.